I don't always tell the story, I usually just sort of reflect. But I do have a story, and it's a great segue, because it's about how I started as an actor and as a singer, I suppose, because I had a long career as a Broadway dancer before I moved to Australia. But it also has to do with my gut, because I still suffer from stage fright, as I think a lot of actors do, and I think sometimes as you become more experienced, you start to become a bit more nervous because you're like, the expectations are there that you're, now you're an expert in your field or whatever this is, right? And the last show I did in Brisbane last year, it was like the opening night, and the writer was there from New York, and I don't know what I said, but I certainly did not perform the show that he had written. But anywho, so when I'm going to take you back to Gardner, Massachusetts, on the northeast coast of America, about an hour outside of Boston, our coastal capital. And I was a student at Elm Street Elementary School, which was right next to the big chair, which used to be the biggest chair in the world in the Guinness Book of World Records, I think in 1972. So this is now 1983. We've climbed up and down the chair and probably put some graffiti on there. And I was probably 11 years old, and I was given the opportunity to audition for the Christmas musical. Now, I'm the youngest of four, and my eldest brother Adam had a lead, my sister Vicky had a lead role, my brother Mark had been in the chorus, and it was my time to shine. And it's crazy what you can remember, because this was a show called The Runaway Snowman. And it was basically just a rip-off of Frosty the Snowman, and I was auditioning for this agent who was going to make the snowman who could talk, make him famous. And I still remember the song. And it was like this. It was like, oh, it was a girl. Oh, little girl, I'm gonna make you a star. The whole wide world is gonna know who you are. And you'll be happy if you know what I mean. You'll see more money than you've ever seen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna make you a star. So I can't even remember lyrics for, thank you. Stop. I can't even remember like lines for the play I'm doing next week. And I can remember like a whole song into the chorus from something I did when I was in 6th grade. Right? So crazy. And so, of course, there were no understudies because it was the Elm Street School elementary production of The Runaway Snowman, and I was one of the stars. And of course, my mom's a nurse, and about 2 days before the opening, I was like, oh no, this is not happening, this is not going well. And I'm sure it was stress and nerves and all this sort of stuff, but my gut was like, dude, you cannot do this. Like, this is not gonna happen. And I was desperate to do it, and I was crying, and my teacher was so nice, Mrs. Cowett, and she was like, oh, I'm sure if you just take some bed rest, you're gonna be fine, And I'm lying at home going, I'm letting everybody down, Mom, it's my big chance. And, I was the baby of the family. It was like the legacy to go on stage at Elm Street Elementary School. And my mother is a nurse, and she said, well, Matt, she said, I have something I can give you, but I don't think you're going to be able to keep it down if I give it to you orally. Oh. So I was given an anal suppository, and strangely enough, it calmed my stomach, and I was able to do the one-night only production of The Runaway Snowman. Since then, I have learned to control my nerves a little bit. And again, it does have to do with the gut. I always talk about it. I always have that panic attack about a week out from doing a show, and I'm like, I can't do this. Won't remember the lines. I'm going to let everyone down. And then there's that thing where you I always talk about it like you're jumping off a cliff and just trusting the parachute's going to be there. And it's that moment where you just kind of go, and you bring it right down into your gut. And I've got like this little bit of gut that I've never, ever been able to get rid of. And one of my acting coaches was like, she said, you have that there because it's your cellular memory. She's like, this has been with you from your birth. This is your strength. And I was like, yeah, I don't have that much more in the stomach. I can just have a little bit right here. And I go down and I sink into that gut, and I go to the edge of the stage, and I open my arms as if I'm going to jump off a cliff, and the parachute parachute always opens. So that's my story.